Feeling stuck trying to figure out HR all by yourself, whether you're brand new or the only person in HR on your team, just know that I see you and I've got you. Because in today's video, we're breaking down all the different roles that exist in HR so that you can take some action with confidence and stop second guessing yourself. Hey friend, welcome back. My name is Latisha Newby. I'm an attorney, HR expert, and your go-to for real talk and real tools to help you grow in this field without overwhelm. Now, today in this video, we're going to talk about several of the different HR roles that are out there and what individuals in these roles typically will do. Now, I know you might be thinking, I don't even know what HR is supposed to look like, or let alone where you fit in this career path. So we're going to talk about the role some so that you can have some idea of what those common roles are and what those responsibilities look like. Okay, so starting with the HR assistant or HR associate, this is usually an entry-level role, right? You're generally going to be helping with administrative tasks like filing documents, updating spreadsheets, or maybe even updating the HRIS system, which is the Human Resources Information System. You could be answering basic questions around things like PTO, benefits, or even payroll. And then you could be responsible for scheduling interviews, onboarding, or even managing new hire orientation, depending on the size of the HR team. But ultimately, this role is going to be one that is going to support the HR team in their work. The HR assistant is really like the glue. They get to see a little bit of everything, and it's a great place to start if you're trying to learn HR from the ground up. It is a role where you really get to soak up information and to learn some of the things that are going to be to come. The next role that I want to talk about is the HR specialist. Now, this role is just like it sounds. It is an individual that is going to be specialized in a particular area. An HR specialist is generally the go-to person for their area. And that area could be recruiting, it could be benefits, it could be training, it could be payroll, it could even be employee relations. So specialists are really experts in their lane. They go deep in that area. So for example, a benefits specialist is going to spend most of their day and their time dealing with benefits. They'll know benefits questions, they'll manage open enrollment, they'll be talking with vendors, they'll be supporting employees in this area. Now, for instance, if you are an employee relations specialist, you would be handling complaints and investigations, managing conflict resolution. And so the idea is that an HR specialist is going to have very specialized knowledge and the opportunity to really focus in one particular area of HR. Now, the next role that we want to talk about is the generalist. And the generalist is the role that's going to do a little bit of everything. So they're likely responsible for handling several different areas of human resources. They could be handling onboarding and offboarding. They might be writing policies and procedures. They could be supporting the managers with conflict resolution or even employee engagement. So the generalist is really going to handle a large array of things. They could be doing anything from some of those administrative tasks like answering emails or responding to questions to writing policy or rolling out training. The generalist is usually an HR person that can handle several different areas of HR. The HR generalist role is a great role that allows you to see how all the different pieces of HR connect together. Now, in smaller organizations, sometimes you might be the only HR person, so you're going to wear multiple hats. In larger companies, you might work on a team or manage two or more core functions. Now, the next role that I want to talk about is the HR business partner. And in some areas, this role could also be called an HR consultant if it's within the organization. This is the role that is really like a senior level generalist, but you also have a strategic seat at the table. So you're not just doing the work, you're also helping leaders think about how HR impacts the business. So you're working directly with leaders or department heads to really align your HR business goals. And you'll likely be doing things like helping managers with hiring, supporting them with team dynamics, right? You could even be providing leadership coaching. In this role, you'll really be guiding managers and people through complex issues. So, things like performance management, restructuring, or even morale shifts in the organization. As an HRBP, you are a trusted advisor. You're at the intersection of people and business. And if you are someone who loves solving problems and influencing strategy, then this role could be part of your path. And then the last role that I want to talk about is the HR leader's role. Now, this role can have a couple of different titles depending on the size of your organization and how large your HR team is. You could be titled with an HR manager title, an HR director title, maybe a VP of HR, or even the chief human resources officer, or something similar. Nowadays, organizations are moving from titles like CHRO to maybe chief people officer, or from VP of HR to maybe VP of people. So, as the HR leader, you are going to play a key role in managing both the people or strategy. So, in this role, you'll be coaching others, you'll likely be shaping policies and aligning HR business goals with the organization goals. You'll be making decisions about systems and budgets and vendors. If you are in a C suite role, you are sitting at the executive table. And so you really are focusing on long term workforce planning. You'll be focusing on risk management, leadership development, really looking at the big picture and how HR can support these functions within the strategy. Okay, so the HR leader is going to set the tone for the entire HR function. The HR leader is not someone who should be in the weeds every day. They're really leading people and they're leading strategy. As an HR leader, you're managing the direction of the human resources function and really ensuring that it supports the bigger picture of the organization. So let me just do a quick recap. Our HR assistant or associate, this is going to be our entry level admin role that is likely supporting the HR team. Then you have your HR specialists who are really focused on a specialized area, something like benefits or recruiting. Our HR generalists, they're going to do a little bit of everything, right? They are kind of the jack of all trades and can have their hands in different areas within the human resources function. Your business partners are essentially senior level HR generalists. So their roles are more strategic. They're usually more focused on coaching leaders and aligning HR responsibilities to the business goals. And then you have your HR leaders, and those titles can vary anywhere from HR manager to chief HR, chief people officer. And these are the strategic leaders. They're usually a part of the executive leadership team, especially at that C suite level. And they are really guiding the whole HR function and aligning the focus and purpose with those business goals. So, one thing that I do want to also add and point out is that although we're talking about the different level of roles within the HR function, know that every one of these roles is important. And just because you might be starting out in one place doesn't mean that that's where you'll stay. I am a prime example of that. I've started out my career as an HR admin and have transitioned through each one of these roles as I've gained more experience, more exposure, which ultimately led to more elevation. So you might be watching this and thinking, I didn't even know there were this many roles, or I think I'm doing two or three of those at once, because that could also be the case. And sometimes you might be thinking, well, I do that and I do some of that, but I don't have an HR title. Titles don't always match reality, especially in smaller organizations. So the important thing to understand is what you're actually responsible for, and then building your confidence from there. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this video provided you with some clarity around some of the roles in HR and what that work looks like. Now, I need you to do me a quick favor. Drop a comment below and tell me what's your current title and what kind of work do you actually do. Did I talk about your role and your work? Is there anything else you would add? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. And I'm sure that there will be some people who can see themselves in the work that you're doing as well. Now, if you've made it this far and you have not already downloaded our free HR Essentials checklist, please make sure to check that out. The link is in the description. This is a free resource that I created to really help you sort out your priorities and to make sense of what might feel like a little bit of chaos in HR. So it'll help give you some guidance and some structure to begin to wrap your hands around the different areas of HR and the work that you may be doing day in and day out. And as always, please remember to like this video and to subscribe to our channel because we have more content coming for you in this series. In the next video, we're actually going to be talking about common HR terms, acronyms, and buzzwords that you need to make sure that you are familiar with. So you are not going to want to miss that. I just want to thank you for watching this video. If you found something in it useful, please share it with a friend or a colleague so that someone else can also get the benefit. As always, remember you've got this and I've got your back, and I will see you in the next one.